years ago, the center of the auto market, at least in the Asia-Pacific region, used to be Tokyo. Not any longer. China now buys the most cars in the world, and the Middle Kingdom's annual auto show, especially the one at Beijing, has now become very important for automakers looking to enter the dragon and make an impact in the Asian markets. Given the Beijing show's growing clout within the Asia-Pacific region, it was no surprise that Ford, which has its regional development center in Shanghai, used the event for a more intimate reveal of their forthcoming box office hero. The most important attraction for us Indians here at the Beijing Motor Show 2012 is this Ford's new Ecosport. It's a compact SUV that we first saw as a concept at Auto Expo in New Delhi earlier this year. But here it's a prototype, it's close to production ready. Now the most interesting bit about the Ecosport is the Ecoboost engine. It's a 1-litre turbocharged engine, but it's a petrol. The production Ecosport carries on the styling theme we saw on the concept in Delhi. The large grille dominates the front, while the concept's head and tail lamps have been replaced with more conventional designs. Despite being built on Ford's compact car platform, the Ecosport looks every inch an SUV with its muscular wheel arches and very respectable ground clearance.
We think we're offering a unique proposition that really does not exist in the marketplace today. It is a compact SUV, but it is fully capable SUV. So it's very capable in terms of ground clearance, in terms of spaciousness, in terms of the design. It's our kinetic language, bold design outside. Those bold contemporary lines flow inside. It's got great storage space, great powertrains. So we think it's just an aspirational vehicle for the Indian market that that doesn't exist in the marketplace today. So we've got great hopes for this.
The Ecosport's cabin is surprisingly spacious and draws a lot of parts and styling cues from the Fiesta. When it is launched next year with an expected price of 7 to 9 lakh rupees in India, the Ecosport will be a good alternative for buyers looking for more than a sedan. The same market, in fact, that Maruti has now tapped with the Ertiga. What you're seeing behind me is Hyundai's new Santa Fe. Now it carries forward Hyundai's fluidic design language, but it's a lot more aggressive, it's grown a lot more bolder than it ever was before. Now it's also grown larger, and in the process that has liberated a lot more space inside the cabin for passengers as well as boot space. Now maximum of 1,570 litres of boot space is available inside that cabin. But how do you get there? Well, it's got 3 rows of seats, and if you fold the rear 2 rows completely flat, well, that's how you get that boot space. Now, when Hyundai gets this SUV down to India, it will predominantly do so with the diesel engine. That's going to be the most popular choice, not the petrol. Mercedes' star attraction here at Beijing is the CLA, the concept style coupe. Now, it's a small coupe, not exactly compact, but it's based on the A-Class hatchback. It's a fantastic looking design study. It draws a lot of inspiration from the A-Class, especially at the front. The grille, it's got the pin cushion grille, which is one of the most striking elements you've ever seen on the car. There's also these wing mirrors that you see on the sides. Again, another striking element. Overall, this coupe, well, it's smaller than the CLS, but it draws a lot of inspiration from the CLS as well, especially in the lines, the long, graceful, flowing lines. Now, interestingly, this car is going to be a front-wheel drive platform, but the one we're seeing here right now, well, it's all-wheel drive, all 4 wheels are driven. Now, engine options, they're going to be small engines, 4-cylinder, but from there ranging on to much more powerful engines, designed and tuned by AMG. Transmission, well, 7-speed transmissions as well. Now, this car will probably make it down to India, but that's a long way off in the future. For right now, just enjoy the way it looks. Mercedes' position in India has been eaten up by both Audi and BMW, but Mercedes has a plan to get back to #1 position, and that includes introducing several new cars such as this, the E-Class. But this is no ordinary E-Class, this is a long wheelbase E-Class, so the length has increased, and thanks to that there's a bit more space inside. Actually, I shouldn't say bit, there's a lot more space inside this cabin. As you can see, there's a lot more knee room and there's a lot more leg room. But the long wheelbase E-Class isn't the only car, the long wheelbase car rather, that is going to come down to India. BMW also has plans to introduce the long wheelbase version of the 3 Series and the 5 Series in India. Also on display at Beijing was this Land Rover Discovery 4, a special vehicle that had completed a special journey, the 1 millionth Discovery. This vehicle travelled over 8,000 miles overland from Birmingham to Beijing, passing through 13 countries.
Back in 1955, Land Rover did an overland expedition, virtually the same as this. They wanted to end up in Beijing, but because of political reasons, they ended up in Singapore. So we wanted to, for the millionth car, to do the same, and we did it, and we got to Beijing as well. And during that time, we were on the way to raising £1 million for the Red Cross and Red Crescent Society.
Now, while we generally raise the curtain for any motor show with Lamborghini, this time around, we are concluding with its showstopper, the outrageous Urus. You heard a lot about it on last week's show, but to recap, 4 seats, 4-wheel drive, over 600 horses, estimated price over $200,000, and if built, it could be on roads by 2015. But what's interesting to note is that the traditionally sports car manufacturer is finally looking out of its fairly low-slung box at a much larger picture. Porsche's success with the Cayenne seems to be rubbing off on the premium luxury performance manufacturers under the Volkswagen umbrella. Does this set off a precedent for Ferrari? Well, the prancing horse has very clearly stated that they won't make an attempt. But it's a changing world. If Ferrari could make a 4-wheel drive, who's to say they won't try their hand at an SUV? Till then, enjoy one of the biggest bulls you ever laid your eyes on.